Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video and welcome to a new champion video. So I love doing these, and obviously thank you to Riot and the League Partner Program for giving me the stuff early that I can make this. And this video, as for my normal launch time of videos, will be early. I think it's to do with the World's Final, and we're launching it at the same time that Riot are kind of announcing it during the World's Final. So this is Zaahen. I think that's how you pronounce it. He is a Darkin, but with a bit of a twist. So what I would say, if you have not gone to watch the latest cinematic video that has Xin Zhao, Yunara, LeBlanc, Atakan, the Demon, go watch that, because that is his introduction. We have known he's coming for quite a little while, but in the way that he has come was actually quite cool. So go watch that cinematic if you have not. The only thing I will say, obviously, you know, again, please go watch the cinematic because it's a slight spoiler, but this is not a Xin Zhao rework. This is a new champion. So Xin Zhao will still exist in the game alongside Zaahen, even though in the lore, Xin is now dead and Zaahen has taken his body. So, yeah, and willingly, obviously Xin Zhao did that willingly. Zaahen was actually a bit hesitant to coming kind of back into the real world because he locked himself away in his glaive because he is a good guy. Zaahen is a hero. He's the hero of Runeterra. He hunts other Darkin. He hunts evil. He hunts demons. But he is corrupted himself. So his lore is he is ascended. So much like Nasus, Azir, Renekton, they are ascended in Shurima. They are basically godlike status. Zaahen is that. But he got infected by Darkin. So he is constantly almost at a battle with himself, you know. It's kind of like Deadpool. Deadpool has the healing, you know, mutation that he's fighting off constant cancer. It's kind of like that's going on with Zaahen. He's very noble. He's vicious in purpose and wants to protect Runeterra, but he has this constant fight of Darkin within him, trying to take over. But for the most part, he is a good guy. So just to kind of say, before we go into the kit, what is he? He is a top laner, fundamentally. So yeah, he's intended to be a top laner, but he may be able to jungle as well, but top lane is the primary role they are planning to support. So what they're saying is, when you look at a champion of how it's balanced, they'll look at Zaahen and go, right, Zahen's going to be top lane, so we're going to balance him to play against Aatrox, Darius, Aurelia, Set, Cho'Gath. They're going to look at top laners to balance him. They're not going to look at Anivia, Kassadin, because he's not a mid laner. So that's the idea. What I will say, we have a bit of Q&A here that I can go over after we go through the abilities, which is kind of like what are the goals for the champion, what would their gameplay describe, do you have any tips as playing as him, do you have any tips against him? But yeah, we'll go over that after. As for the actual kit and stuff, because Worlds is on, we haven't got like the cookie cutter, here's a clip of his passive, here's a clip of his Q. So I'll be bringing clips up like now, and it will just be gameplay clips. And hopefully with my explanations, you'll be able to kind of see which ability is which. So let's get into it. So his passive is Cultivation of War. So Zaahen's attacks and abilities against enemy champions grant him stacks of determination, gaining bonus attack damage per stack. And when filled with determination, Zaahen gains increased attack damage and can revive. So some people may actually remember, and when I saw this, the immediate thing that I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of old Aatrox a little bit. So before Aatrox's rework, Aatrox had a revive too, and he kind of knelt down and kind of regened a bit and then came back. It kind of gives me vibes of that a little bit. So yeah. All right, then his Q is the Darkin Glaive. So I think there are potentially two things of this, but yeah. And one thing I will say is, remember that this champion, Zaahen, there's a little bit of Xin Zhao in here because he has taken over Xin Zhao's body in the lore. So if you go, that's quite similar to Xin, that's why. It's on purpose. So Zaahen slashes twice on his next attack, dealing bonus damage and healing himself. And then Zaahen can recast this ability to give his next attack bonus damage and knock up his target. So pretty similar to Xin Zhao Q, you know, with a slight little difference. It is actually quite similar. Xin Zhao's Q knocks up on the third attack and stuff. So it's doing it in a slightly different way, but it is quite similar. Then the W is called Dreaded Return. Zaahen stabs in a direction, damaging enemies hit and pulling them towards him. So again, like Xin Zhao, but it's opposite. They both throw their kind of glaive or spear towards an enemy as, you know, as a skill shot, I believe, for both of them. But Xin Zhao's one is it enables, if you hit with a W, he could then follow up with his E at a increased range. Where this one, it's not Zaahen goes to them, it's they come to you. So it's kind of like a hook. So that's quite cool. It's, you know, kind of similar as well. The E is called, and I'm probably going to butcher this pronunciation, Orate Rush. Sure. Zaahen dashes to a location and slices around himself. So again, kind of similar to Xin Zhao E, that it's a kind of a jump or a mobile ability with a bit of AoE damage. And then the ultimate is called Grim Deliverance. Zaahen rises, then stabs downwards, damaging enemies and healing for a portion of damage dealt. So overall, he's a pretty standard champion. And I think Riot has actually kind of gone back to doing a bit of standard champions because a lot of the champs in the last few years have just been so overloaded. And that's not to say this champion is going to be weak. Most basic champions in the game are pretty strong right now. Especially modern basic champions are very strong right now. So I think he has definitely got good strength within this core kit. I do, and again, this is where just personal preference, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. I do see a lot of Xin Zhao in this kit, and I know it's on purpose, but sometimes I do question of like, ooh, that's quite similar to have quite, you know, these two champions in the game at the same time. It's a little bit weird. So to me, this is kind of like Xin Zhao has kind of been merged with old Aatrox almost. But yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. He looks really cool. But that is his kit. Let me know what you think. What we'll do is go over some of the developer Q&A stuff that we've got available. I'll keep gameplay on the screen because obviously we have quite a lot of that. But what are their goals, by the way, for designing him? So with every champion, we typically start with the goals and the types of players we want to make a champion for. For Zaahen, that meant making him into a kind of tougher top lane melee character. From his lore, we wanted to tie it in several aspects that players would enjoy as an homage to his background. So yeah, we took inspiration from Xin Zhao and other Darkin in the game. And we tried to make something that felt like he hit similar notes, but at the end of the day was his own thing. And again, for me, that is, he definitely has a lot of Xin Zhao in him. He definitely has a bit of old Aatrox in him, but he is himself. It's just you can see where they've kind of grabbed it from. Like, he doesn't really have anything massively unique or brand new at all, really. It's coming from other places or other things we've seen before. But is that a negative? That's up to you to decide. Next one is, well, how would they describe his gameplay style? So he has a ramping combat style. So the longer that Zaahen is able to fight, he builds up power until eventually gaining a large spike that lets him take down his opponents or revive from death. So one of the biggest aspects to pay attention to, both playing him and against him, is that his abilities can stack his passive multiple times if he hits several champions. So that, remember, that passive is he's gaining determination, and at maximum stacks he's stronger, and if he dies, I guess, with maximum stacks, he's going to revive. So you have to look out for that, and kind of almost his counter is going to get burst, because he won't be able to build stacks if you just burst him. If it's a long, prolonged fight, that's what he wants. And then Zaahen, who multi-hits with his W, E, or ultimate, is going to get his full passive much quicker than hitting one enemy. So right there, that should tell you he wants to team fight. A lot of top lane at the moment is a lot about that 1v1. We're just fighting 1v1. By the sounds of it, Zaahen doesn't want to do that. He might be okay at doing that, but where his true strength grows of growing his passive really fast is grouping and hitting multiple people at the same time. So do they have any tips for playing as him? Is pay attention to where your passive is at. So yeah, a lot of this seems to be his passive is his thing. When making decisions, being aggressive or not, the developers have seen Zaahen players run away too early when they could have kept fighting and gotten full passive. But also seen them commit too hard when they couldn't build a passive and just simply die. So the skill of this champion, if you want to say already, it's going to be all about the passive. Knowing how quickly you can build it, knowing, oh, that I'm in a 2v1 in top lane right here, but oh, that will actually get me my passive quicker because I'm hitting 2 people. It's going to be quite a... you have to be confident, really, to make this champion work. But I think that really fits with his whole philosophy. He's a confident, ascended Darkin. So being confident, making quite insane engages, I think is actually what you want to do, because it fits. Any tips against him is simply kite him like mad. So run away from him a bit. So he doesn't have the best sticking power, so staying on top of people. And if you see him start stacking his passive, you need to disengage and wait for the passive to fall off. So it's kind of like Olaf. With Olaf ultimate, you typically want to just like try and run away, let the Olaf ultimate run out, and then re-engage. By the sound of it, it's kind of similar to Zaahen. You go, oh, your passive is getting a bit close to full there, bud. You're going to have a big power spike or be able to revive. So what's the point of fighting you? I'm running away. And then lastly, what are some unexpected challenges or novelty stories when they were designing him? So the amount of times that people have brought up the fact that Aatrox lost his revive. Oh my god, I have not read this yet, but it's literally true. Aatrox lost his revive and Zaahen is getting one is always amusing. Personally, though, I believe that Zahen's revive mechanics should make the ability much more sustainable compared to Aatrox's revive that had to be removed. But yeah, Aatrox did have one. Obviously, it's kind of like a Darkin kind of... It's definitely in their mind of, oh, Darkins could potentially have a revive ability because we've already had it before. So... overall, the champion does look quite interesting. Again, just to make it clear, his title, because every champion's got a name and then a little title, is Zaahen the Unsundered. So I think he looks cool. For me, the only thing that I would say personally is I do worry he's just a little bit samey. Like, there is really nothing new at all with this champion, really. You know, nothing major. There's no new mechanic that they're bringing to the table. But that might not necessarily be a bad thing. That will make him easier to balance. And obviously balance is on everyone's mind all the time. So maybe it's not a negative. But let me know what you think of the champion down below. Again, not the longest new champion video because it doesn't have to be. He's not a complicated champion. But the whole trick to him is his passive. But let me know what you think. What I will say, if you guys enjoyed this video and you haven't, please do subscribe for more content. I will be playing him because I play all champs when he's launched. And why not? Let's do a little cheeky giveaway. So what we'll do is if you are subscribed and you like the video and you comment down below, include a comment of what you think the champion is like. Or do you like him? Do you like the look of him? What would you want different, if anything? Make sure you leave your summoner name and your server, and I will gift... whoever wins, I'll basically do a comment random picker when he's released, when this video, you know, is a bit older. So you have plenty of time. If you're watching this and he's coming out tomorrow, you still have time to enter. But we'll give away the champion and his launch skin, which, by the way, I don't think we know what his launch skin is yet. But we'll give that away to somebody in the comments down below. But anyway, that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Hype the video if you've got that feature available. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It's HuzzyGames bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine. You'll learn the game and have a good time. Thanks for watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that like and sub, join the family tree. Like, comment and subscribe.